Alright, welcome back to part 2 of Friends Before Enemies Devlog. This is a fighting game where I put my friends into the game, and so disagreements could be hashed out in the arena of battle, or something like that. A lot of work has been done, and I just want to go through some of the big changes. First off, I now have an invincible state, and so when you get knocked prone, you don't just keep on getting hit and hit and hit. You have some time, you have some buffer time before you're able to get hit again, and that just it's nice to not get comboed everywhere. Secondly, I now have a CPU state, and the way this is structured is, first on the character controller, if the CPU is true, then in the player, the CPU will be equal to true, and it'll establish everything and then switch to normal. But then if it's a CPU, it'll go to CPU normal. Now the CPU normal isn't in the actual player object. Instead, it's going to be in the enemy controller, and this is where with player enemy, so that whichever player is the CPU, it will interact with that, and then switch the player state here. So here's CPU normal, and blocking is in the game now. I have blocking. Blocking will just reduce damage and knockback. I'll get into that in a second, but right now CPU. So the walking is pretty straightforward. Up here we have a timer, and the walk timer will pretty much just count down, and if the walk timer reaches a certain threshold, then it will choose a direction either -1, 0, or 1. These are the directions. And it will also choose if it's going to jump or attack. And then I have it to where if it reaches halfway in the walk timer, it will choose another direction to walk. And this keeps it feeling, more lively. It makes gameplay against a CPU more interesting. I also have it to where if the CPU reaches its opposition, it's the other player, and if it's within 80 pixels, it'll go ahead and attack just regardless. And this creates for some cool combo moments. I also have it to where if it's within a certain parameter of the opposition, then the timer will double going down. And if it's away from the opposition, then it will go down just by 1. And this creates some more fluctuating gameplay to make it less robotic and more lively. So this is the attack chooser, so it will choose between 1 or 0. And this is pretty much just the same thing as the player ground attack. If it's attacking, then you set the animation counter to 0, you set the horizontal and vertical speed to 0, and if it's on the ground, it just chooses out of the entire list of attacks possible, and if it's not on the ground, then it will do the air attack, and then set the attack to 0. And that's pretty much it. It's a very simple CPU, and this is just, again, doing basic animations for the enemy. Here we have enemy 1 and then enemy 2. These are just tracking the I guess these are the player-specific stats or variables to latch on to either object, player object. So one thing that I wanted to try to do was have a parent player. So here's that. It doesn't have anything right now, but because player 1 and player 2 both have a lot of repeat code, I wanted to try to streamline it in some way. This establishing variables stuff or establishing stats is just the same thing as this. It's all the same thing. And so I thought maybe I could streamline it and put it all into one object, but in practice, I'm sure I could make it work, but I feel like it would just make things unnecessarily complicated with this. Yeah, it's repeat stuff, but it keeps things kind of self-contained. So if something is screwy, then I can usually narrow it down fairly quickly between the players. I mentioned that I would talk about the blocking, so I'll do that. So I just have a blocking thing, much like the attacking. The blocking is same idea. If facing and if you're moving backward, then blocking equals 1, otherwise blocking equals 0. Very basic check, but if we head down to, where is it? Oh, it's in the hurt box, I think. Yeah, so in the hurt box, we have this switch for blocking, and if we're not blocking, then we just go through simple, regular knockback stuff. But if we are blocking, with this case 1, then we go through the stuff, and yeah, so when we're blocking, we don't get any vertical knockback, and the damage, yeah, so if the player isn't blocking, then take regular damage, otherwise take a fifth of the damage. And I'm not doing a very good job at explaining all this, but for those that understand, congratulations. So again, the hurt box is a lot of repeat code. So if I go quickly into the stage, I use just this Legend of Zelda 1 tile set for the background, because I noticed I started getting lost a lot more often in relation to which side of the stage I was on. So I just threw this together to give reference point. And that's pretty good. I like it. It gets the job done. There's also some other quality of life things, like I have this shadow that just follows the the players around. And so follow equals 0, and the shadow is spawned with the hurt box just down here. And because each character is different sized, I have the shadow spawn with different stats. And so the follow, we are setting the follow to other, in which case it is player 2 in this code. The X anchor is not used in this, so we can actually get rid of that. The character size, we'll just change the size of the shadow to make it make sense. I also have the image alpha set to half, and so it actually looks like a shadow. What else? Yeah, so that's kind of the big stuff. Oh, health bars, of course. I got health bars working. So using the draw GUI event, we get our camera, we get the width and the height. We don't really use the height, but in case we do need the height, we got it. We have our X buffer and our Y buffer, meaning if there's like the health bars have a bit of math to them. I know, shocking. Down here, like the mana. So the mana is the actual life bar that goes down, and the Y buffer, it's 50 pixels down. And because I'm using a sprite and just changing the size of the sprite, I don't need to worry about like the built-in health bar function that GameMaker has, because I tried using that and it was less than desirable, so I just made my own. Now X1, we're taking the width, halving that, and then minusing the buffer. And then for X2, we're doing it, but we're adding the buffer. And what this does is putting the health bars in a specific spot, and so it's equal with each other, and I'll show you that in game. Let me actually turn these to false real quick. Okay. Now the red measure, what that does is when you get hit, there will be a red bar that measures where the health bar was, and then it will slowly meet to where the health bar is at. I think this is a nice little visual cue to show how much damage has been taken, and I just think it looks cool. It also helps for counting combos, which I have a combo counter right here, and all that does is this is the code for the damage effect, but it also does counter stuff. And so if the player gets knocked back, then you add to the counter. And if the combo is over 1, then you draw the combo, pretty much. And then when the H1 previous, which is the red bar, meets back up with the current health, then the combo gets set to 0. Kind of an iffy setup, but whatever. I also have a game ending thing, and so when player 1 HP or player 2 HP gets less than or equals to 0, we end the game, and we just half the speed of the game to create the like a slow-mo effect, and then set that to 100 steps, and then just set it back to 60, and then end the game, or restart the game. Now the health bar stuff was a bit confusing for a bit, because I wanted the health bar to head to the middle. When you get hit, I wanted it to slowly head to the middle, but to do that would require flipping and swirling and doing all sorts of stuff with the sprite that it took me, admittedly, a little bit too long to figure out. But I figured it out. And the way I did that was with this modifier. And so I have the HP, which is 100 when you first start out, and then we divide it by 10. And that's our image scale. That's how big we make the sprite. Again, the Y buffer, put it down 50. And then underscore x1, we have our width, which is the width of the screen. We divide it by 2, and so we're directly in the middle. And then for x1, we minus the buffer, the x buffer, so 25 pixels. And so that pushes the drawing the health bar to the right 25 pixels. And then when we draw it, when we do the x scale, we put this minus here, and so it expands back to the left. Yeah, so sorry, I've been working on this thing for like 6 hours today. I'm a bit frazzled, so apologies if none of this is making sense. This isn't for you. If I wanted this to be fancy, I would have edited it, but shut up, whatever. We're doing it live. Anyway, that's what we're looking at here. Drawing the names. Now, the names were also kind of tricky, because I wanted the names on the ends, the opposite ends of the health bar. And so for player 1, who's on the left, we have it all the way on the far left side of the health bar, and then player 2 is on the right, with the name on the right side of the health bar. Now, we can't just place a hard and fast coordinates, because, well, not all names have the same size. And so what we do is we get the name, and then we check what the width of the name is, and then we get the width of the screen, we minus the text buffer, which is 40 pixels. So we're putting the name 40 pixels into the health bar. Tbuff, and then minus the name width. And that's where we put it on the right side, and then the left side is we get the width divided by the width of the screen, and then and why I'm doing this instead of just putting it at 0 is because I'm planning on being able to change the screen size, and that will require more fluctuating variables that I don't know about. So in a poor attempt to prepare for the future, I put this here. And then we plus the text buffer, Y buffer, 50 pixels, and then we draw the name. So this is a lot of rambling, this is a lot of talking, a lot of nonsense. So what does this actually look like? Well, I will show you. There we go. So this is the character select screen. Right now I just have it say ready. But if I press enter, this is what we're looking at. I like it. We got the health bars, we got the names, we got the shadows, we got the characters. We can move around. Camera's in a good spot. Some other things that I've been working on was like quality of life changes, and so the changes of the hitboxes and stats and all that. But the shadow moves on the ground, and that's nice. I also have player 2 movement, so they can move independently from each other. That's cool. There they go. And as you can see, there's a combo. One thing I forgot to mention was that if you get knocked into a wall, there is wall knockback. So if I stand over here some, you can get knocked back. And I think that's pretty swell. And there we go. Frog wins. Congratulations, Frog. I need to figure out a way to put in the actual names of the characters, but that's later me's problem. The other thing, I'm going to need to start putting in effects and sound effects. There's still some animation things that I need to do, like victory things and the character select screen. Let's go ahead, get rid of all that, go back to character controller. Let's bring in Runky and make them both CPUs. So you'll get to see the computer in action. And here they go. They're off to the races. Now my money's on Runky. I think Runky has a pretty good track record. Runky is an absolute beast of an absolute beast of a character. Can do like 25 damage in one hit. Frog is definitely more of a glass cannon type of thing. Can do a lot of combos, a lot of quick damage, but it doesn't do a lot of damage. Here they are, kind of spacing each other out, and I like that. It gives some breathing room. Oh, that was a good combo. It is a lot of fun to watch them fight. Alright, we'll do one more with these two, and then we'll get Kieran versus Runky, because I think that's the fight that everyone wants to know. Holy cow, look at him go. Yeah. Now, the CPUs are very unfair, and I think it is slightly in favor of player 1, though I don't know why. Yeah, I'm not sure why. And it's not really in favor of player 1. I've just noticed that player 1 wins frequently, but I've tried checking to see why that's the case, and I'm not quite sure why. So let's see who wins this fight. Runky versus Kieran. Now I've altered a lot of the hitboxes and damages, the hit stun, so things feel a bit better. Ooh, that was cool. Here we go, creating some space. It's still anyone's game. Oh, just like that. Ooh. Ooh, who's gonna win? 2 good hits from Runky, and it could be all over. Ooh, but it's getting tight. It's getting close. Who's gonna... Oh, Kieran wins. We'll do that one more time. I admit I've probably spent an hour watching my computer fight itself. Oh, that was weird. Should probably fix that. Yeah, the prone state doesn't make a lot of sense. But you know, it's all good. Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh man. Whew. Oh boy, it's still... Ooh. Kieran got knocked in the head enough and is now reconsidering his options. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Can Runky turn this around? Uh-oh. Oh boy, it's getting close. Who's gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Who's it gonna be? Oh. Hey! Ooh, that was close. So I guess, here's the tiebreaker. Place your bets in the comments below. Let's see who wins. Alright, Kieran opens up with the first hit. Some flame breath. A swipe. Kieran's tiptoeing around. Runky's holding his own. Getting some spacing in there. Ooh, Kieran comes up close, but Rinky blasts off. Ooh, but isn't blasting off high enough. Rinky gets trapped. Oh, that's a lot of damage. Oh, some call the flex tape guy. Oh, dang. Runky is getting rocked. Is Kieran gonna take this? Oh boy. Ooh. Oh. There's a child outside my room and is being loud and obnoxious, as most children are. And Runky takes it. That was close. But yeah, that's kind of what we're looking at right now. Maybe I'll show the hitboxes and stuff later. But yeah, that's what we're looking at. Thanks for watching. Where's the stuff? There it is.